Let's be honest, not everyone likes you, and part of you hates that. You replay conversations, you adjust your tone, you shrink your opinions, trying to be more digestible, more acceptable, more liked. But what if being for everyone means being true to no one? What if rejection is proof of alignment? Stay with me, because this might set you free. There is a quiet strength in accepting this truth. We are not built to be universally approved. The desire to be liked is natural, but the need to be liked is dangerous. When we shape ourselves to fit every room, we lose our edges, our standards, our voice. Here are signs you are not for everyone, and why that may be your greatest strength. 1. You speak uncomfortable truths. What if the reason you feel restless is because you keep swallowing what needs to be said? Think about it. The meeting where you stayed quiet, the friend who crossed a line, the relationship where something feels off. You felt it, clear, sharp, heavy, but you smiled. Changed the topic, kept the peace, temporary comfort, long-term tension. We live in a culture of image management, polished captions, careful branding, good vibes only. Honesty feels risky. You might be labeled difficult, negative, too intense, so people lie softly. I'm fine. It's okay. No worries. But inside, resentment grows, respect fades, authenticity dies. The problem is fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of being misunderstood. So we trade truth for approval. That trade is expensive, because every time you silence yourself, you weaken your own backbone. Speaking uncomfortable truths is not about attacking, not about humiliating, not about proving a point. It is about alignment. Calm voice, clear words, direct eye contact. This doesn't sit right with me. I need something different. That behavior is not acceptable. Simple, firm, respectful. Some people will resist. That's fine. Truth filters your circle. It builds self-respect. It builds trust. It builds clarity. In today's world, many people perform confidence. Few practice honesty. Be one of the few. Say what needs to be said, without anger, without drama, because peace built on silence is fragile. Peace built on truth is solid. And when you speak honestly, something powerful happens. You stop abandoning yourself. And that changes everything. 2. You value depth over popularity. What if being known by everyone is the fastest way to feel known by no one? Look at modern life. Hundreds of followers, dozens of contacts, endless group chats, constant notifications, always connected, rarely understood. You can get 300 likes and still feel alone at night. That's the paradox. Surface connections are easy. Quick jokes, memes, small talk. Let's catch up soon. But nothing real is exchanged. No fears shared. No hard truths spoken. No real accountability. And after hours of interaction, you feel drained. Because shallow energy spreads thin. The problem today is quantity over quality. People collect contacts like trophies. They chase visibility. They want to be seen everywhere. But depth requires vulnerability, and vulnerability is uncomfortable. It means slower conversations, longer silences, honest answers to hard questions. How are you? Not good. Most people avoid that level, so you choose differently. Fewer people, stronger bonds, one real conversation. Over 10 empty ones. One loyal friend, over 50 casual ones. You protect your time. You guard your circle. You invest where growth exists. Depth builds trust. Trust builds stability. Stability builds strength. In a world obsessed with going viral, choose being valuable. Popularity is loud. Depth is quiet. Popularity fades with trends. Depth survives seasons. You don't need everyone to know your name. You need a few people who know your character. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how many see you. It's about who truly sees you. And that kind of connection doesn't drain you. It strengthens you. 3. You set boundaries without apology. What if the reason you feel exhausted is because too many people have unlimited access to you? Late night calls, last minute favors, emotional dumping. Endless. Can you say yes. Again and again. Not because you want to, because you don't want to disappoint. We live in a culture that praises availability. Always reachable. Always supportive. Always there. But constant access destroys respect. When you are always available, you become taken for granted. Your time gets assumed. Your energy gets drained. Your priorities get delayed. Then resentment builds. Quiet, heavy, unspoken. The problem is guilt. You think boundaries are rude. You think saying no makes you selfish. You think protecting your peace makes you cold. It doesn't. It makes you disciplined. Access to you is earned. Not by status, not by charm, by respect. Boundaries are simple sentences. I'm not available. That doesn't work for me. I need time. No long explanation. No over-justifying. No apology for existing. The first time feels uncomfortable. People may push back. They were benefiting from your openness. But over time, something shifts. Serious people adjust. Users disappear. That's clarity. Boundaries protect focus. They protect growth. They protect your mental space. In today's world, energy is currency. Spend it wisely. You don't need to be harsh. You need to be firm. Calm tone. Direct words. Steady posture. When you value your time, others learn to value it too. Because when access is earned, respect increases. And when respect increases, peace follows. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. Choose wisely. Protect what matters. 4. You refuse to laugh at what violates your values. What if that harmless joke is slowly training you to betray yourself? You felt it. The group laughs. The comment crosses a line. Someone gets mocked. Something you believe in gets dismissed. All eyes scan the room. Will you laugh too? It would be easier. Blend in. Smile. Avoid tension. We live in a culture where humor excuses everything. It's just a joke. Don't be so sensitive. Relax. But repeated compromise changes you. Every fake laugh chips at your standards. Every silent agreement lowers your line. At first, it's small. Then it becomes normal. The problem is social pressure. Humans fear isolation more than discomfort. We want acceptance. We want to belong. So we trade integrity for approval. That trade is expensive. Because when you laugh at what violates your values, you slowly disconnect from yourself. Refusing to laugh may cost you comfort, awkward silence, side glances, maybe even distance, but it builds something stronger, self-respect. You don't need to lecture. You don't need to argue. Just don't participate. Calm face, neutral tone, no forced smile. Silence can speak louder than outrage. Over time, people notice. Some will test you. Some will respect you. Some will drift away. That's fine. In today's world, lines are blurry. Standards shift with trends, but character stays steady. It's easy to laugh with the crowd. It's harder to stand still. Choose harder. Because when you protect your values publicly, you strengthen them privately. And when you can sit in discomfort, without betraying yourself, you become unshakable, even if you stand alone. 5. You outgrow people quietly. What if the distance you feel isn't betrayal, but evolution? You notice it slowly. Conversations feel repetitive. Goals no longer align. Jokes don't land the same. Ambition levels shift. No fight, no drama, just space. And that space feels uncomfortable because history exists. Memories, inside jokes, shared struggles. We live in a culture that says loyalty means permanence. Day ones, forever circle. Never switch up, but growth changes priorities. You wake up earlier. You think differently. You protect your time. You want more. Not more status, more depth, more discipline, more direction. The problem is guilt. You feel bad for evolving. You fear being labeled arrogant. You hesitate to step forward because others stayed still. So you shrink. You downplay goals. You dim your light. That costs you. Growth naturally creates distance. Not because you think you're better, because you're becoming different. Wise maturity doesn't announce departure. No dramatic speeches, no social media explanations. You simply adjust access. Less availability, different environments, new conversations. You honor the past, but you don't live in it. Some people will understand, some won't. That's okay. Not everyone is meant for every season. In today's fast world, people confuse access with entitlement. They don't own your next level. If you keep choosing discipline, clarity, purpose, your circle will shift. Let it, because forced closeness creates friction. Aligned distance creates peace. You don't have to burn bridges. Just stop standing on ones that no longer lead forward. Growth is quiet, and sometimes distance is proof. You're moving in the right direction. 6. You do not chase validation. What if the silence you fear is actually your greatest advantage? No likes, no comments, no applause, just quiet. For many, that feels like rejection. You post something meaningful. It doesn't perform. Doubt creeps in. Was it good enough? Do they care? Am I invisible? We live in a feedback-obsessed world. Views, shares, ratings, reviews. Everything is measured. And when numbers drop, confidence drops with them. That's the trap. If your worth rises and falls with attention, you will never feel stable because attention is unpredictable. Trends change. Algorithms shift. People move on. The problem is external dependency. You start adjusting your voice to please the crowd, softening your truth, chasing engagement instead of growth. Slowly, you lose yourself. Here's the shift. You focus on substance, not reaction. You build skill quietly. Work consistently. Improve daily. No announcement. Silence does not threaten you. It sharpens you. In silence, you think clearer. You plan better. You execute without distraction. You stop performing. You start building. And something powerful happens. Criticism loses weight. Praise loses control. You become steady. In today's loud world, silence feels like failure. It's not. It's preparation. The strongest foundations are built off camera. No audience, no validation. Just discipline. When results finally show, people will think it happened overnight. They won't see the quiet work, but you will. And that's enough. Because when you no longer chase validation, you become harder to manipulate, harder to distract, harder to break. Silence is not emptiness. It is strength. Being built without witnesses. 7. You walk away from disrespect immediately. What if the moment you tolerate disrespect is the moment you teach people how to treat you? It rarely starts big. A sarcastic comment, a public joke at your expense, a dismissive tone, a boundary ignored. You feel it, a tight chest, a quiet sting, a signal. But you hesitate. Maybe I'm overreacting. It's not that serious. I don't want to cause drama, so you stay. That's where the problem begins. Disrespect grows where it is tolerated. In today's world, boldness is confused with rudeness. Savage culture, roasting for laughs. Public humiliation disguised as humor. If you don't respond, they push further. Not because they hate you, because you allowed it. Here's the shift. You do not negotiate dignity. No long speeches. No emotional explosion. No revenge. You simply withdraw, calmly. That doesn't work for me. Or silence. Or distance. Walking away is power. It says, access denied. Some will call you sensitive. Some will test you again. Let them. The right people adjust. The wrong people reveal themselves. The problem is fear of being alone. So people accept disrespect to keep company. But company without respect is costly. It drains confidence. It erodes self-worth. It normalizes small violations. Protect your standard early. Small lines enforced prevent big battles later. In a culture where people argue to win, learn to exit. Not every fight needs your presence. Your dignity is not up for debate. And when you walk away without noise, without begging, without explaining, you send a message louder than anger. You value yourself, and people treat you exactly how you teach them to. 8. You prioritize discipline over approval. What if the reason you feel stuck is because you keep choosing comfort over growth? Be honest. Scrolling instead of studying. Sleeping in instead of training. Spending instead of saving. Laughing it off instead of locking in. It feels good now. Soft bed. Fast food. Easy dopamine. Quick validation. But later, regret. Stress. Self-doubt. We live in a comfort economy. One-click delivery. Autoplay entertainment. Instant opinions. Instant pleasure. Everything is designed to feel good immediately. Discipline feels different. Quiet, boring, repetitive, no applause. The problem is approval addiction. You want people to like your choices, to understand your grind, to praise your effort. But discipline rarely looks exciting. Waking up early, skipping parties, saying no, training alone. It may even look extreme to others. Let it. Long-term strength is built in private. You don't need everyone to clap for your consistency. You need results. Choose the workout over the comment section. Choose the book over the binge. Choose savings over showing off. Small decisions, daily. Discipline compounds. Comfort compounds too. One builds muscle. The other builds excuses. In today's world, comfort is normal. Strength is rare. You don't need to be loud. You need to be steady. When approval fades, discipline remains. When motivation disappears, discipline carries you. And here's the shift. When you prioritize discipline, confidence grows quietly. Because you know something most don't. You can delay pleasure. You can endure discomfort. You can stay consistent. And that ability, it separates potential from performance. Choose long-term strength, even when no one understands. Especially then. 9. You remain calm in chaos. What if the real power move is not reacting when everyone else is losing control? Picture it. Group chat exploding. Office tension rising. Family argument heating up. Social media outrage trending. Voices get louder. Messages get sharper. Energy gets frantic. And then there's you, still. Not cold, not passive, just steady. That steadiness unsettles people, because chaos feeds on reaction. Drama needs fuel. Anger needs audience. Panic needs participation. When you don't contribute, the fire struggles. We live in a time where emotional explosions are normal. Public breakdowns go viral. Rants get applause. Overreactions get attention. Calm looks suspicious. People may say, "Why don't you care?" Say something. React. But you understand something simple. Strong emotions are temporary. Consequences are not. The problem is impulse. People speak while angry, post while hurt, decide while afraid, then regret. You choose differently. Pause, breathe, observe. You separate facts from feelings. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything loud is true. Calm is not weakness. It is control. When you remain composed, you think clearer. You respond smarter. You protect your reputation. In chaos, most people lose leverage. You gain it, because while others burn energy, you conserve it. While others escalate, you evaluate. In today's overstimulated world, emotional restraint is rare. Be rare. Let others chase the noise. You build stability. And over time, people notice something powerful. You cannot be easily shaken. And when you cannot be shaken, you cannot be easily controlled. 10. You accept misunderstanding without collapsing. What if being misunderstood is actually proof you are growing? Think about it. You send a message. Someone reads it wrong. They assume your tone. They judge your intent. Suddenly, you feel the urge to explain, to defend, to prove you are good, to make them see you clearly. But here's the truth about modern life. People interpret through their own fears, their past experiences, their emotional wounds, their social media narratives. You cannot control that, and trying to control it drains you. The problem today is approval pressure. Everyone wants to be understood instantly, liked instantly, validated instantly. But real character does not depend on public interpretation. Misunderstanding is normal in a fast world. Text messages lack tone. Online comments lack context. Short videos lack depth. People judge quickly. Think slowly later. So you must stay steady, not defensive, not emotional, just clear. You say what you mean, once, calmly, then you move forward. You do not chase everyone to explain yourself. Because truth does not need constant marketing. The solution is emotional independence. Accept that not everyone will see your heart. Not everyone will understand your decisions. Not everyone is supposed to. Choose clarity over approval. Speak with intention. Act with consistency. Let results explain your character. In a culture obsessed with image, misunderstanding is unavoidable. But here is the reward. When you stop collapsing under misunderstanding, you gain inner stability. You stop performing. You start living. And slowly, the right people will understand you without effort. Because real recognition is not loud. It is quiet, slow, built over time. Hit like and subscribe for more contents like this.